everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are rounding off the weeklies finally with the sign of Pisces. It's going to be for December 15th to the 21st, and I do sincerely apologize for being late with this video. Normally my weeklies are premiered every Saturday or Sunday at the latest, but I was having work done on my building, and nevertheless we are now here. Before we get into it though, just letting you all know that I am giving away this beautiful Spirit Animal Oracle deck for Christmas from Colette Baron Reed. Really lovely Oracle deck to work with for anyone, even for like a beginner. This could be a very good deck to work with. And in any case, if you are interested, all you have to do is be a subscriber to my channel and let me know in a comment that you are interested. All right, Pisces, what can I say? You know how much I love you. I was raised by two Pisces. Both my parents were Pisces. And I'm a Sagittarius, so you can imagine. But I love the Pisces energy. All right. And of course, we're going to pull out your romance angel messages now, just to see what they have to say for your week. And then we'll get right into your animal spirits and see what those are for the week, and then do your traditional spread out of the Rider-Waite deck. All right, so let's get right into it, my lovely Pisces. See what's going on December 15th to the 21st for sign of the fish. Here we go. And of course, just take what resonates with you. And if it doesn't resonate with you, if it doesn't apply to your situation, just let it go. We have, it is safe for you to love. Nice. Perhaps coming out of a period of anxiety, or this could be the one. Nice. And we have trust. Wow. So we really have three very sort of compatible messages here, right? And as I was saying, perhaps for some of you who are coming out of a period of not having a connection, right? Perhaps you came out of a difficult relationship and you've been unwilling to open up. But in any case, I'm not going to try to intuit what these messages mean. They're pretty self-explanatory. We're going to know more as we get into your reading. If you're new to my channel, you just happened on my channel in your feed, thank you so much for taking the time to check me out. This is the format for my weeklies, and every week this is how I conduct my readings. And so if you're also cross-watching, you can go ahead and check out the other weeklies. They're all conducted in the same way. And let's go ahead and pull out your animal spirits. All right, we have the moth. Air energy associated with wishful thinking. We have the dragon. Wow. Associated with the third chakra, or the solar plexus chakra. And we have the vulture. Wow, I do love the vulture. This is air energy also. Very misunderstood animal spirit, but we're going to get into it. And of course, the dragon is associated with the alchemical symbol for ether. In alchemy, we talk about 5 elements, not just 4. The 5th one being spirit or ether, which is essentially what comprises most of the universe. All right, let's get right into it. Air energy with the moth. The moth is associated with wishful thinking, hasty decisions, always thinking the grass is greener on the other side. The moth is very easily distracted, very easily sort of drawn to anything nice and shiny and new, right? And so in this way, the moth really doesn't settle long enough to put the effort into real relationships or into forging real relationships. And oftentimes when this energy is coming in, if you're radiating or resonating with this energy in a sense that you're feeling yourself being pulled from here to there by what looks like to be something better each and every time, then, you know, remember the best relationships come from the ones that we put time and effort into. If you're dealing with someone who's resonating with this energy, take care, because it can be quite painful to deal with moth individual. You know, they can be the type of individuals that one day, they seem very, very into you and this connection, and as soon as something else comes along, they can shift that quickly, right? So take care. The dragon. All right, dragon is associated with the 3rd chakra, which is the solar plexus chakra, right? And when we talk about the solar plexus, is that little sort of, I want to say, trampoline almost in the center of your chest, right below your rib cage. It's what holds kind of the tension in your chest so that you can breathe, right? When you have the wind knocked out of you, it's because the solar plexus has been knocked or jarred, right? And oftentimes we talk about the inner winds, the outer winds. You know, our breath is so connected to our life. And so in this way, the dragon connects the solar plexus to the breath of our lives in a way, right? He's always watchful. The eye is always open. And it talks about following your true sort of, not your heart, because we're not talking about heart chakra, which is to do with feelings, but following your true path in life, right? Who you are, as far as like, you know, being connected to your inner spirit or your inner soul, right? It's the breath that connects the body to the spirit. You know, when we stop breathing, we die. So it's this connection of the breath. When we think of dragons as well, breathing that fire, we talk about the passion, the heat, the fire of the breath. This is the fire of our sort of forward momentum, right? So the dragon talks about always being watchful. It's almost like a tether to the soul, to your soul, that is always watching you and making sure that you're following the path that you should be following, that you're being true to yourself, that you're being true to your inner self and being true to your essence, right? You're not compromising yourself. And so in this way, the dragon is ever watchful. It's the watchful eye of the soul in a lot of ways. And the vulture comes in. Vulture is air energy, and the vulture is a much maligned creature, very misunderstood. Everybody is grossed out by the vulture, right? Because they eat carrion, because they eat dead things. But the vulture does the dirty work that nobody else wants to do, right? Without the vulture, our ecosystem would crumble. Without animals like this, we would be full of disease and pestilence everywhere. And so the vulture is associated with the person who has to do the dirty work in a situation, right? Who oftentimes has to, be the bearer of bad news or be the one that everybody blames, right? But it's cleaning up other people's messes a lot of times. We're also talking about, with the vulture, we're talking about really, truly sort of taking care of what is dead and old in our lives and getting rid of it, lest it poison our future, right? It's difficult to do. Sometimes they can be relationships, or it can be ways of behaving that we've held on to. It's air energy, so this is associated with the mind and communication. So again, the vulture is oftentimes going to be that energy or that individual who is the one who has to lay down the law, or he's the one who has to sort of come in. You know, if you have a friend and they're dealing with, for instance, an abusive relationship, you know, and it's like they're trying to get out of it and it's a whole big mess, and they call on you and they want you to help them. It's like you've got to go in there and help them, help them clean up their mess that they've created. And so in a lot of ways, the vulture is a very definitely misunderstood and definitely undervalued part of our spiritual ecosystem in a lot of ways. All right, let's get right into it. Pisces, we're going to pull out anywhere from 3 to 4 spreads, 3-card spreads for you to see what your week is like, all right? And I am a very traditional reader in the sense that I don't need to pull 20 cards to come up with sort of an idea for your week. We only need to really look at 3 cards. And depending on how long I spend on each forecast, we shall see if it resonates. Now, if it doesn't apply to you, that's fine. Just let it go. Pisces, we know that not all readings can be for all Pisces, right? So straight out, we have 7 of Cups, the Emperor, and the 6 of Wands. All right. So 7 of Cups, talking about wishful thinking. 7 of Cups has come right out under that moth energy. Very, very similar energy, even though this is air and cups are water. But 7 of Cups talks about pie in the sky thinking. It can also indicate sometimes delusional thinking. It can indicate wishing for things that we think will make us happy, but that oftentimes don't make us happy. It can also talk about just being caught up in your head and daydreaming about unrealistic unrealistic wishes and desires for yourself, right? Unrealistic scenarios you know, and really being stuck in your head with those because, instead of taking sort of more realistic steps to something that's more achievable. 7 is the number for wishes, for hopes and dreams. And so, of course, this is something that you really hope and dream for yourself. But again, oftentimes it is an unrealistic wish or an unrealistic hope for yourself. And we really need to be careful not to be too stuck in this mode and to really bring yourself down and ground yourself. But some of you are coming into this week with this, right? You're kind of got a certain idea about a particular situation, and you're met with an Emperor energy. And it's quite interesting that you're met with Emperor energy because the Emperor is sort of very grounding, very, very grounding and very sort of stabilizing in a lot of ways, right? And it could very well be that although this dream for you, now, although this, I did say this can be delusional thinking, can be unrealistic, but sometimes it is just pie in the sky thinking, right? But somehow this Emperor that you kind of come up against this week kind of brings you right back down to the ground and get you to sort of reevaluate all of this, right? Sort of, because within this 7 of Cups, there is, not all of it is unrealistic. It's just the degree to which you have been thinking about it, or wanting it to manifest, Within the 7 of Cups, there is a thread of realism. There is a thread of something that you can attain. It's just talking about really grounding this dream a bit more so that you can make real practical steps towards it. And this Emperor energy does that for you. It could very well be that this is a person in your life that is like a mentor to you. It could be someone a little bit older than you. It could be a relative or a really, really good friend. But this is going to be certainly someone who's very sort of fiery and domineering or dominant in their ways. Very masculine. Certainly Emperor's masculine energy. And this doesn't mean that they are males. Doesn't matter. My readings are not gender specific or sexual orientation specific. We're just simply talking about radiating with that masculine energy, that very authoritative energy, and that very sort of like dictating, like, look, this is the way it's got to be, or this is the way, you need to go about this, right? And I think you take this to heart, because what it does is it really grounds you, really takes you out of this moth energy in a little way, in a way. It takes you a little bit out, your head out of the clouds, brings your feet back down to the ground, but you have a victory by the end of the week, which is the 6 of Wands. And I'm going to say for some of you, it could very well be that in a particular scenario, you really didn't know how to move forward. The way you thought you could move forward was unrealistic, but this Emperor has come in to sort of stabilize you and to sort of get you to look at things a little bit sort of more realistically in a more achievable way. And you find your victory anyway. You get your victory by the end of the week anyway. And I think it's just like an understanding of how to be more practical with your desires, your hopes, and your dreams. Understanding that there are steps along the way that you must take that will make something that at first glance seems unrealistic or unattainable will make it much more attainable. Page of Wands, Ace of Cups, and the 8 of Pentacles. Wow, I love the 8 of Pentacles. Page of Wands talks about being very, very fearless. There's a similar read for Aquarius, I'm going to say. But Page of Wands talks about being very fearless in wanting to sort of go after your creative goals and objectives, right? If you want to create, if you're, for instance, say you are now opening up a very, you're heading down a very creative path in your life that before you may have been a little bit hesitant. You may have felt like, oh, do I really have the talent? I'm afraid maybe people will make fun of me, or maybe I'll be ridiculed. People won't understand me. Page of Wands talks about letting all of that go, letting all that fear go, and just really following your ambition. It's a very youthful card. It's obviously it's a page, but it's a very sort of youthful, optimistic energy. That energy of, I don't care what the rest of the world thinks of me. I want to do this, and I am going to go for it, right? Very beautiful energy, very strong energy. You're coming into the week with this, and you're met with the Ace of Cups, a love connection. So it could very well be that your desire to get back out in the world, you're overcoming that fear. You're overcoming the fear of maybe getting out in the world and expressing yourself so that you can call in love. This could also be like overcoming self-esteem issues or self-doubt issues, starting to go out a bit more, starting to dress up a bit more, starting to be a bit more sexy, male, female, doesn't matter, starting to sort of dip your toe in that water again, that social water, not being afraid to sort of dance and enjoy yourself and revel in your own sort of ambiance so that you can bring in a love connection, right? It's safe for you to love, and this is the energy that this really feels like to me. That you are overcoming perhaps some fears of the past and you are radiating with this energy. And of course, it's the first law of attraction because in comes this Ace of Cups. You round off the week with an Eight of Pentacles. I'm going to say for some of you, it's really, really beautiful because somehow this Ace of Cups meeting, this new love, makes you want to absolutely sort of discipline yourself, discipline your work, your life. It's funny because it's like this new love connection has really made you realize in a lot of ways, because Eight of Pentacles talks about discipline and trying to master something, trying to be, trying to get very good at a particular craft because this is something for your business or your career, right? It talks about putting in restrictions that amount to disciplining yourself, not partying, not going out every night, things like that, so that you can be focused on achieving this mastery of this task. This is impacting this new love connection. And I'm going to say for some of you, it's like just being very, very responsible, right? It's like when you live a life that perhaps up until now hasn't been so responsible or hasn't been sort of so disciplined, but when you meet somebody who absolutely makes your heart sing and makes you feel like it's worth it, you suddenly decide, it's like you decide that, yeah, you know what, I do want to work harder for this because I want so much for this relationship. It's a really very nice connection, Pisces, and it's certainly the type of connection that makes you want to do everything you can to keep it stable and keep it progressing forward, and to put your best foot forward with this connection as well. It's very nice indeed. Page of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, King of Wands, and the Three of Wands. So two kings. Two kings and the Three of Wands. Well, the King of Pentacles is facing up to the King of Wands. Absolutely, this week, there are two of you. Pisces, you're coming up against someone who's absolutely your match in a lot of ways. You're the one who's coming in with King of Pentacles. So you're the one resonating very much with the monetary side of a particular issue. And you're coming up against your match with a King of Wands. Kings are always associated with fire. So here we have the fiery aspect of earth and the fiery aspect of fire. So in a lot of ways, you're very compatible. But you're representing two important sides of an issue or project or endeavor. You round out the week with the Three of Wands. And Three of Wands is all about patience. Three is the number for bonding and loyalty, but Three of Wands is about patience and virtue, right? The virtue of patience. And I think for some of you, something is, Pisces, you're engaging in some kind of endeavor, project or a creative endeavor that requires the King of Wands. Because although you bring perhaps the finances and the stability and the support, the King of Wands is bringing the quirkiness and some of the creativity and some of the other pieces to the puzzle. And the two of you really need to work out how you're going to work together. And so you round the week off with a Three of Wands because this needs to be sort of figured out before you can move on, right? This is not a battle or this is not a competition. This is two equally enigmatic, equally powerful, equally creative and strong individuals that will work great together. There will be a real power couple, whether it's romantic or not. This is a real power couple in terms of achieving a particular project. And so take some time. It requires some time and some patience for you guys to kind of figure out exactly how you're going to work together or how you're going to engage in this endeavor together. Ace of Pentacles, Four of Wands, and the Lion, Strength card. Nice. So, I love the 8 major arcana. It's associated with Leo. It's the Strength card. Ace of Pentacles talks about a beautiful financial opportunity. It's going to be the last spread, by the way. Beautiful financial opportunity coming in or in your career. Of course, aces are all about the potential. So it's not a sure shot, but it has all the potential as long as you put the effort in. And this is a real sort of, I'm going to say, a real sort of practical opportunity for abundance and increasing your financial stability. Oftentimes, Ace of Pentacles can be the kind of financial opportunity that sets you up just enough so that you can actually have a family, that you can get married, you know. It's the kind of wealth that comes in that helps you sort of grow further, right, in your unions or connections. You can see the garden there with the archway that normally we would see in a wedding or a union. So it's the kind of wealth that helps you sort of establish the stability to to get married, to have a family, to raise children. That kind of opportunity. It's solid, stable. And so you're coming into the week with this, you're met with a Four of Wands. So it's quite interesting. You round off with strength energy. Four of Wands talks about a new love, right? A new love. Four of Wands is Venus and Aries energy. So it's a new, beautiful love, but it's also a stable love, right? A love that starts with mutual respect and admiration, understanding. And this is the sort of building blocks for what can be the twin flame journey, which is why the Four of Wands is often called that twin flame card. It's called the 1111, but that has nothing to do with the number 11. It's simply because the wands are mirrored there and they look like two 11s. But this card is absolutely much more about the number 4, which is the number for stability and here when we talk about Venus and Aries, it is strong, stable union, right? Beautiful. So you have this great financial opportunity that's coming your way. And at the same time, you have this new love opportunity that's coming your way. Both are very new in a lot of ways. But of course, this is very much a soulmate connection. This could very much be the one. And dragon energy comes in because with strength, major arcana 8, you are feeling this week that you're going to really have to dig deep, right? To pull out the strength to juggle both of these, right? Because you want to do what's right by this great career and financial opportunity. You also want to do what's right by this beautiful new love connection. And so there's a lot of things that you're going to have to sort of learn to control. Pride, perhaps, you know. There's certain sort of more basic, I'm going to say, passionate, animalistic emotions and feelings that you're going to have to sort of keep in check in order to be able to juggle this. This is a great opportunity in both in love and finance, but of course to be able to juggle both and progress both, it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of understanding of what you can handle. Remember the 8 major arcana is also associated with boundaries that we must put in place. Understanding strength. Strength is when we understand how much we can handle as well. We have to know what we can handle. We have to be honest about the things that we can handle. And that is working from a position of strength, right? If you allow people to pile things onto your plate that you know you can't handle, it's only going to weaken you, you know. And this is why this 8 is associated with boundaries, because in order to maintain strength, in order to hold on to your energy and your essence, you have to put boundaries in place. So that people don't cross them. You have to enforce those boundaries so that people aren't constantly tapping your energy for themselves, or that they aren't constantly crossing boundaries that sort of cause you to fall into lower kind of behavior like pride or jealousy or envy or fear even in a lot of ways, really, right? Reacting, you know. This all comes out of allowing people to just sort of cross boundaries with you and just constantly tap into you, you know. You can't do that. And so once you enforce that and once you set that up and you say, look, yeah, this is what I can handle, you know. If this new love connection, for instance, an example would be, If this new love connection, it was someone who already has children from a previous marriage, right? And you know that, you're not good with children, or you're not ready to deal with their children, and that's a boundary that you have to enforce. Because if you don't discuss this, if you don't talk about this, and if you don't say, look, this is, an area that I'm not ready to deal with, and you allow them to sort of then bring the kids in, and you pretend everything is all right, you're not working from a position of strength. You're working from a position of weakness, because you've allowed somebody to put you out of your comfort zone, right? Or out of, not even your comfort zone, but you've allowed somebody to sort of cross a boundary that you can't handle, right? So what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to handle it, right? And then you're going to respond. You might get angry. You might react, or you might, then next thing you know, it's like you're in an argument and you're saying, well, I'm sorry. I said what I said, but I didn't mean to say it, but I told you I couldn't deal with kids and blah, blah, blah. Do you see what I'm saying? This is what we're talking about when we're enforcing boundaries, and why enforcing boundaries are so important to maintaining your own stability and strength. And so this is what you're needing to do this week as well. Certainly set boundaries in whatever way that you're going to go about this new financial endeavor. And certainly setting the right kind of boundaries in terms of going forward with this new love connection. And if you do that in the right way, then you will be working to your best strengths, and you will be working in a way to progress the relationship and the opportunity the best way you can. All right, guys, this is your reading, December 15th to the 21st. I do apologize again for the late upload. Don't forget to let me know if you're interested in the Collect, Bear, and Read Spirit Animal Oracle deck. All right, just leave me a comment letting me know you're interested. Of course, you do have to be a subscriber. But for right now, if you want to get a private reading, go ahead and follow those links at the top of your screen. Follow the links to your other readings in the description. I have your love readings up, your 2020 outlook, and your full December monthly love readings are up as well. Your mid-month love readings are up. But for the rest, Pisces, please have a wonderful third week in December, and I shall see you next Saturday. Bye-bye now.